In a bid to turn around the artisanal gold mining sector in Western Kenya, the Ministry of Mining has come up with key proposals which include formation of an artisanal mining committee which will be tasked with licensing and dispute resolutions. Mining Principal Secretary Elijah Mwangi says the subsector has not been regulated and thus miners, host counties and the national government do not maximize on the returns from the precious stones. These as leaders call for transparency from investors to ensure land and mine owners benefit too. KTN's Alan Ochanda reports from Ikolomani in Kakamega County.
The decades-old gold mining venture in Western Kenya hasn't been regulated, even as artisanal miners eke a living out of it. The Ministry of Mining, keen to breathe sanity in it, now says all artisanal miners must belong to cooperatives and artisanal mining committees before being licensed. The latter's role is to issue licenses and resolve disputes.
When you formalize a sector, it means the government is able to follow who is doing what, where. And in our 2016 Mining Act is very clear, when you undertake any mining activities, you need to give 5% royalties. In those royalties, 70% go to the national government, 20% will go to the county government, and then 10% will go to the community where the mining is taking place.
Deaths have been witnessed in the mines, as most of them are old. Their walls are shaky and have since been reinforced with timber, but often cave in, killing the miners, and thus calls for modernization of the sector have been rife. The mining process is tedious, and separation of the precious minerals from mud requires keenness, where women in the mines come in handy. Their vulnerability to brokers and middlemen, the PS says, is part of what prompted the draft of regulation proposals.
All artisanal miners now will not be issued with a license until they are in cooperatives. And immediately you're in cooperative, it means you have increased your capacity. So you have more equipment, you are working together, and so even your processing will definitely go high up.
Although artisanal miners form the largest chunk of miners, large-scale miners and investors too have shown interest in the subsector. An idea to construct a refinery in Kakamega is being mooted, even though the initial proposal was to have it domiciled in Siaya County, which local leaders opposed, saying huge gold deposits are in Kakamega.
Ati wanataka dhahabu yetu hiyo ikienda Ramula, ikitoka Ramula irudi. Nani kijana yangu Washington? Hapana piganisha Waluya na Wajaluo. Kizungu yenye Wajaluo wanafanya na huyo mzungu. Wanamwambia kwamba wewe ukiiba dhahabu kutoka Ikolomani ukileta kwetu.
If it is constructed at Kakamega, yet we also have gold in Vihiga, we expect that we will have a sort of a branch of the same being constructed in Vihiga to also take care of the locals who also need their golds to be refined, for people to also buy from a central place, because we have seen brokers, people who sit around the villages where minings are done, they measure the gold in grams, they don't give exactly what is supposed to benefit the locals. When they go out there, they sell in the way they know, they make a lot of money from the same.
Some investors have been accused of mining, yet posed as explorers, while some even proposed the displacement of persons residing in areas earmarked for mining activities, which has been opposed.
In some areas, we find resistance. The local communities do not want investors in because they have seen that as their way of life. So they think maybe when investors come in, they'll go away with everything and they will be left with nothing. As local leaders, one, we want the local population to know that there is a lot that comes with investors coming in.
Alan Ochanda, KTN News.
The Kenya Association of Music Producers has now moved to effect new government